The journey of journalism.
Hi, today we're here for the school news report day. I'm Medea.
I'm Mariam.
And I'm Ishra.
And we're joined here today with Sarah Cooper from the BBC.
So, Sarah, as a news reporter, what do you do?
Right, well I think I need to correct you because I'm not actually a news reporter. I work for BBC Radio Wales and I work as a broadcast assistant, and part of my job is to look at the papers or different sources every day in preparation for our programme so that we come up with some ideas for which stories that we can actually do, but I don't do any presenting.
Okay, so how long have you been a journalist?
I've been with the BBC now for coming up to 20 years.
20 years.
I know, it's a long time, isn't it?
It is a long time.
Do you ever get nervous while reporting?
Well, do I ever get nervous when I interview people? No, because I think from a young age I realised I was a very nosy person and I love finding out about people.
Okay. Do you get put under pressure?
Yes, I do. There are many times when we don't feel we've got enough time to get the items ready, but we do have to deliver to tight deadlines. If you're going live on air at a certain time, they're not going to change that just because you're not ready. Things can go wrong. Part of my job is to work in studio every day for my various radio programmes, and if we can't get the contributor, either they're stuck in traffic and they can't arrive at the BBC to be interviewed, or if they're on the phone and we can't get hold of them, which has happened, then you have to find somebody else to go live on air. So that can be very pressurised.
Okay. What stories have you previously covered reporting?
Because of the nature of the programmes that I work on, I now work for general programmes for BBC Radio Wales, and those programmes can cover all sorts of different subjects. They cover topics like health or well-being or being a parent, or we do lots of phone-in advice hours. We do competitions with Mystery Voice or with quizzes such as a Larry Shawn's 2:45 teaser. So we do all sorts of different items. I think for me personally, for a number of years I worked for religion, and I worked for BBC Radio 4 and Radio Wales and looked at ways that we could represent faith on the radio. And I absolutely loved that. And for that, we would cover topics such as, which way should governments support and finance the purchase of weapons. Looked at ways that we could represent faith on the radio. And I absolutely loved that. And for that, we would cover topics such as, which way should governments support and finance the purchase of weapons. Should we did the beatification of this is what I would say. You need to pause, and then we'll edit that later. I think that's not appropriate. So yes, we look at all sorts of different subjects related to faith. And it could be that we do an interview with an author, that they brought out a book, and then we find out about what the book's about. But also we find out about how faith has played an integral part to that person's own life. And so those are the types of things that I think I would say I'm most proud of, that I've met some really interesting people, people who have inspired, educated me, challenged me. And that's the type of person that you want to, that's why I went into broadcasting and journalism in the first place, because I wanted to meet really, really interesting people and try and get them to tell me their story. And that's what I do.
Thank you.
Overall, what's it like being a news reporter, and what's the most exciting aspect?
Well, I think I've partly answered that question in the sense that for me, working in the BBC, more than anything, you meet people who have either made a difference or continue to make a difference. So, for example, last week we had some incredible fathers in the studio, and they came in to tell us of a fundraising event that they were doing or will be doing this summer. They are all fathers from a place called T Havan, which is in South Glamorgan, and it's a special place for children who have life-limiting illnesses. So in other words, they've been diagnosed with either rare conditions, genetic conditions or cancer, and they will have treatment for that. But in most cases they won't actually live to be adults. And these dads are just normal people with normal jobs, with normal backgrounds. But they plan on doing a big fundraising event to help T Havan raise funds to keep going. And yet, in the process of telling us about the fundraising event, they told us about what it was like to be fathers who have these children with special conditions and how heartbreaking that can be. One of the dads, for example, lost his son, and you know his little boy died at the age of 3. And you know, you hear those stories, and just like you've done now, you know, it touches you, it changes you actually, because you realise that our lives are made up of encounters. We meet people all the time, and those people will actually leave a footprint on you. They'll tell you their story, and you'll wonder sometimes going home of an evening that, you know, how special it is to be told those stories day in, day out in the job that I do.
Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for
you.
inviting me.